Welcome to the Happy Side podcast. This is Skye, and I'm super nervous but super excited to say that I have a quote unquote celebrity here with me, which is kind of exciting. This is Daeg Faerch, which did I say your name wrong? Probably.
Yeah, it's Daeg Faerch, aka GreatDaeg.
There you go. I always say it wrong, but it's fine. I'm from Alabama, so I get an excuse, right?
You're from Alabama. Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Is that the first you're hearing of this? Shock.
Yeah.
I've known Daeg for a little bit now, and he's a really cool guy and fun. And so I'm so glad that he's on this podcast. It's terrifying, but I'm really excited. You probably know Daeg from like a lot of stuff. He was in Rob Zombie's Halloween as young Michael Myers, and obviously he looks exactly the same, but also not the same. He was in American Horror Story and Euphoria. So that's extremely exciting. And now he's a rapper, which is so awesome. And his stuff is super amazing and fun. And yeah, so really excited to have you here.
Whoop whoop.
And do you have any questions for me before we get started?
Nah.
Okay.
Are you nervous?
Yes, I'm like
Okay.
sweating, but it'll be okay.
Hmm.
Um, it's fine. Okay, so I do have to ask, just starting into it. So, and I'm not going to go too into Halloween because it's a mental health podcast, and that's not what we're talking about. But my friend Katie and I were wondering, and had to ask you during that scene at the beginning when you kill Judith Myers, is that your hand on her thigh, or is it
Oh,
somebody else's?
so that was actually the only time I've ever used a stunt double. I was too young. It was
Okay,
legally not allowed.
right.
There was a short girl that dressed up as blonde, or she was blonde, long haired girl, and she dressed up as me, and she was my body double for lighting some stuff, and
Okay.
then also just for that hand shot.
Okay, interesting. Because Katie was like, "Well, did you see if it had baby hands?" And I was like, "I don't know."
If it, damn, okay,
Yeah, it's
I'm just
fine.
inanimate object.
You are. It's fine.
Yeah,
It's cool. Okay, so okay, so paint me a picture of this.
I'm
What
not
was
a
your
painter. I produce, I record, I engineer, I rap, I act, I model. I painted a little back in the day, but I'm not much of a painter.
Oh
I
my
don't
god.
even have any paint
Oh,
or on me right now, so
lame.
I'm.
Okay, so what was life like before you were in Halloween? Like, what was life growing up in San Diego, and what was life like before that?
Well, you got to listen to my song "Story of an OG" because that's basically it. No, I'm kidding. But kind of basically, just a little artsy boy and his mom. And she took me to church, when I was young and stuff like that. And that's how I got into acting because I seen church plays. Um, but just freaking grade school, 9/11 happened when I was in like kindergarten or whatever. So then flights changed and stuff like that. We had to take off our shoes, you feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, back in the 1900s. Oh no, not but yeah, Um
What
I was
grade
a
were you
nobody.
in?
I was a
What?
nobody really before that. I mean, we all are at the end of the day too, but we all are also, somebody and everything and all that in between. But yeah, no, I got bullied a bunch. I had a couple friends that lived nearby and we skateboarded and, hung out after school and stuff like that. But I went to school, I did a lot of plays, a lot of short films. So I kept pretty busy as a kid. I also took dance classes and stuff like that. So, I was tap dancing, doing some ballroom dancing, all sorts of
Quality.
stuff. Yeah, just a bunch of different arts besides painting. You feel me?
Right.
That's what I was saying. Like,
There you go. There you go.
yeah.
So, okay, and then obviously Halloween happened. And so what was life like after that? Like what changed about your life? Because I know like I can imagine like when I was a kid, like this is such an embarrassing story, but I don't really care. But I remember going to New York City for the first time, and I can't remember what it was, but I did some kind of like kid twirl or something. And someone clapped for me, and I remember thinking this is the coolest thing ever. So I can't imagine what it would have been like to be in this movie and all of a sudden people like know who you are, or what changed? Like, did you feel like a different person, or what was that like?
No, it was just weird. I was also, like 11. Yeah, I was 11
Right.
years old. So then, once it came out, I shortly after I think turned 12, and 13's right around that corner, and then you're a teenager. So mixed along with all of that stuff, it was just really weird. And, my mom raised me a sweet little angel, you know what I'm saying? Which is awesome. But then, realizing that the world ain't like that
Mhm.
necessarily, and just getting chased by people, and,
Mm.
trying to
Mhm.
shop at the mall like a normal kid. So it was actually kind of frustrating. I'm not going to lie. Although I did learn a trick, a cheat code to it, being born and raised in San Diego. Most people just think, if you're an actor who has some sort of success, you live in Hollywood, and
Right.
that's that. So I learned that I could eventually, like, when people ask me, "Hey, oh my God, you're the kid," boo, 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 I'd be like, "No, I get that a lot though. Like, he's an actor. He probably lives in Hollywood."
Right.
People would buy that. So I'm sorry if that was you, but yeah, no, that was me. If you're listening to this, it's me.
Because I feel like back in that time.
Someone's listening to this right now and being like, "Oh,
Oh,
I knew it." They text their ex-girlfriend like, "Hey, I know I haven't spoke to you in years, but that kid that we ran into that one time and he said it wasn't him, it was."
I work at a law school, and I was talking to one of my professors, and he was like, "Yeah, my wife and I went on like our first date," and I was like, "Oh, that's so cool. To what movie?" And he was like, "Oh, Rob Zombie's Halloween," and I was like smirking over in the corner, like, "Okay, that's cool,
You gonna show him
great."
this interview?
To what? Maybe I might. We'll
What's
see.
up, professor?
I'm sure he'd be into it. He'd enjoy
Tap in for a signature.
it. Oh my god. Okay, here's where it's gonna get deep. Okay, are you prepared for this?
Yeah, I'm tall. I can my head still sticks out in the deep end, so we're good.
Okay. I just want to make sure. Okay, cool. What advice would you give to your younger self?
Oh, just keep doing it, man. Just doing it. Just keep doing it and doing it and doing it well. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't change anything from the hardships to all the good ships. You know what I'm saying? That is what has made me who I am today. So, just keep it up. Don't doubt yourself. Keep it up.
Oh, I love that. It's awesome. Okay, so what would be your personal definition of the word celebrity?
Oh, I don't know, man, because people will be like, "You're like a celebrity," and I'm like, "Barely," like, and they're like, "No, like you are," and it's like, okay, like, yeah, I don't know, I think it's all that's a pretty personal opinion on celebrity, and I think that might forever just be anyone who's more famous than you.
Interesting.
You know what I'm
Ooh,
saying? So, like,
yes.
personally, I don't think anyone will ever consider themselves necessarily a celebrity unless they get too caught up in it because
Right.
I mean, besides Drake and some other people, there's always going to be someone like a little more famous than you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's
Right.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm onto something. Maybe I'm totally wrong.
Interesting. No, that makes sense. My friend and I, who I did my last podcast with, we talked about that, and it's just such an interesting concept, especially now where we have social media and stuff. It's like, you go on TikTok live and you're a nobody. All of a sudden, you're somebody. I don't know. It's interesting.
Do you
Um,
consider yourself a celebrity?
in my
You
heart,
have a whole podcast. I
I
mean,
do have
that's
a whole
something.
podcast. Hey, that's the question for you. Do you think I'm a celebrity? I'm kidding. You're like, I'm not answering this. Um, okay. So this is like where we're gonna get even deeper. So can you like, if you're able to, I don't know if this is something you want to talk about or not, but are you able to like? I know you're a traumatic brain survivor. Are you? Are you
Traumatic
able?
Bane survivor. Yeah, no, that bad guy Bane from
No, a
Batman.
TBI, a TBI.
I ran into that guy one time, and wow, I
Stop.
survived. I survived Bane.
I'm from
Hey,
Alabama.
DC Universe, come at me. I survived Bane.
Stop.
I'm
A
Batman.
traumatic brain injury. Oh my gosh. Can you walk me through that day? Are you able to?
I don't know. I don't know. It was that time of my life. I was a teenager. You know what I'm saying? Skating, partying, and whatnot. I went to a lot of shows in that time of my life. I don't necessarily remember, but probably took the trolley out there.
The trolley.
Yeah, I used to get everywhere as a teenager. Trolley, bus, and skateboard. San Diego works solid like that, I think. But took the trolley out there, was in the mosh pit, got knocked unconscious. I think I kind of remember being in the smoking lounge after that, after I woke up while we were waiting for my ride to the hospital. But I don't know if that was that day or not, you know? But then, yeah, I woke up like 3 weeks later or something like that, and I couldn't walk. I was bald. Half my skull was missing. They had me all doped up on all sorts of fucking hospital shit. You know, I was confused and brain injured on top of all of that. Yeah, I went from like an ICU, I think, to once I came out of the coma, I went somewhere else, and then I went somewhere else to like relearn how to walk. And I remember that still high key, just, you know, getting out of the wheelchair and like using those bars on the side of you and trying to walk. But hey, you feel me? We walking now. I just can't smell. That's the one thing that really like that stuck since the brain injury.
That's so interesting. And can you taste things? Because I feel like you can't.
Yeah, no, I can taste.
Okay.
I just explain it as like a like say your taste buds are a whole tree with all the branches and leaves and stuff, and then you just trim one hedge, like the first layer of it. So my taste buds are still there. It's just not as complex as it probably could be.
Okay.
Now
So
here's a question. Now here's where questions kind of come towards you, since we're talking about the fact that I can't smell, right?
Okay.
So I actually know someone else before I wasn't able to smell, who was not able to smell. So that means there's, you know, it's a thing, and I think she was born with it. I'm not 100% sure, and I acquired my lack of smell, right?
Right.
So for your fans, if you have any fans that listen to your podcast that might deal with the lack of smell, what are 3 words you'd describe your normal smell as?
Oh, whoa. That's so weird. I don't know. Oh my gosh. But here's the deal. If I answered, who's to say, like, oh, that's hard. Because I feel like nobody has a distinctive smell at the same time. This
I
is
would
life
imagine mine
changing.
probably smells like slight sweet BO, because I know Northern Europeaners have a sweeter BO. And before I could stop smelling, I remember like getting BO kind of when I was like 15 or something. I'm like, why is it kind of sweet? So I'd imagine I smell like a little bit like sweet BO and then blunts.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Beautiful. No, like when I've been around you, though, I haven't smelled anything. But that's so weird. No, I haven't. I wouldn't
Okay,
be...
wait, hold on. So to push on to that, because this is like a deep, this goes 2 more in.
Oh, okay.
So let's go for something that I don't know if it's more common, but it's more talked about than people who can't smell. What about blind fans of yours? Can you give 3 descriptive words of you to them?
What do you mean? Like, elaborate.
Explain yourself, like what you look like to your blind fans.
What I look like. Okay. Oh gosh, this is terrifying. I feel like I sort of look like Alicia Silverstone from Clueless, and I have brown eyes, and my hair is naturally dark brown. But I dye my hair. It's always a different color, and I wear pink a lot. I guess that's what I could say.
Okay, and now what about your deaf fans? What do you sound like? No, I'm kidding. What, that's it.
Hey, what do I sound like? What's your impression of me? Like, no, you don't have to do it, but how do I sound like?
How do you sound?
Yeah.
As like a female.
Yeah.
That's no, I'm explaining it.
Oh.
You sound like a woman. Not super old, not super young. You know what I'm saying? But like a woman that's probably from somewhere in the middle of America with a bit of a southern twang. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice. I'll take it. That's so wild. Okay. So when you were in a coma, do you remember anything from it? Because I know some people like can see light, or they can feel or sense things. Do you feel like you have remember any of that?
Well, so what had happened was I came out of my body and I seen it laying there, and I realized what had happened. So I walked around and slapped everybody that I'd ever wanted to slap. And I robbed a couple banks. just as my spirit self. You know what I'm saying? Straight out of body. No, I'm kidding. I it was all a blur, but it was like a big dream kind of, and
Mm.
I was on a vacation with two of my best friends that I was actually with yesterday,
Oh,
and one of them's families,
cool.
and we were at a hotel, and like, but I was bedridden. I couldn't get
Mm.
up out of bed, and they all were basically partying right outside the hotel door at the pool, barbecuing, whatever, the whole time. So I was like there, but from a distance the whole
Ooh,
time. Yeah.
that's interesting. That's so. Do you
Mm-hmm.
remember? Do you remember like the first thing that you said when you woke up?
No clue. No
You
clue.
just never spoke again. I get it. I get it.
Yeah, I still
It's
haven't
fine.
spoke since. Yeah.
I know, right? Would probably be doing people a favor. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Wow.
Calm down.
Anybody who
Okay.
likes my music, man,
Oh my
she
gosh.
just insulted you.
I'm sorry. Sorry, y'all. Um, okay, I know that you've been somewhat open about your past like drug abuse. Could you like walk me through that a little bit and like how you kind of got on the right path? And I know your mom, you're really close with your mom who's like super cool and super awesome. So I know that she helped you a lot as well. If you're able to share some of that, it'd be great.
Yeah, very helpful. She helped me wherever she could, and at first I didn't want it, as any teenager would when their parents are like, get off drugs. I'm like, fuck
Right.
you, I don't want to. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
But just stuff slowly starts adding up, and I'm really 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 blessed that that part of my life was only a few years. At that time it felt like a lot longer, because when you're 16, 4 years of your life is a quarter of your life.
Right.
So, but no, I'm super blessed that, one, that I did do it and that I went
Mm.
through it. That type of stuff runs in my genes. It is what it is. But I was blessed enough to deal with it and get out of it. And it was like, slowly and surely kind of things started to click. People might say something, look me in my eyes, look me in my soul or whatever, and be like, what are you doing here? And that one thing somebody said to me one time, I was just like, damn, you're right. Crazy. So yeah, I started to get better probably when I was like 18, 19, 20. It was like a slow, like, I'm gonna, just be a better person type shit. And now it's still every day, I'm always trying to be better than who I was yesterday. But I'm 28 now, so I've got like a few, like 7 years off cigarettes, so 8 years off one drug of choice and 9 years off the other drug of choice.
Wow. That's awesome. I mean, that's an accomplishment in its own. Just like, it's interesting because I was actually talking to my mom about this the other day. Um, I didn't drink at all in high school. Like I was never around any of that. Like just, I mean, not like I wasn't like a goody two shoes. It was like, oh, I'm avoiding that, but I just was never around it. So I find it so interesting to hear these kinds of stories because it's just like I was never around it. So I don't know how that would have affected me if I had
Would
been.
you say that might be because that there was family always near? Seeing you're from Alabama, and I think the the public perception of Alabama is one big family tree, if I'm not mistaken. So, if that is correct, was that the reason maybe you weren't drinking at such a young age, because you knew that there was always, an aunt or an uncle or a cousin nearby, if you
Um,
had anyone nearby?
Dig's really asking if people are inbred in Alabama. So just so you know that. The answer is no.
Putting words in
Um,
my mouth. Wow.
or at least
Okay. I think I worded that a little bit nicer.
I love how you just stared me down when you said it too. I'm like, what is wrong with you? So the answer is no. So I grew up pretty like not necessarily like super religious, but I grew up in a household like I'm the only child. And I don't know if it had to do with the fact that I just pretty much told my parents everything, but I really don't know. I know that when I was in college and I was around it, people would make like I would feel like dirty if I like drank or whatever. Like so I think it's more of just how like the social life is here in Alabama. It's more of a like, I was actually when I was in LA a couple weeks ago, we have this thing here that's almost like fake nice. Not everyone, but it's like the concept of like a southerner is, oh, I'm so friendly, I'm so nice, but deep down I'm super judgmental. And when I was in LA, everybody was so nice. And I'm like, but they're also real nice. Like, they're not going to be like, like, bless your heart, like we are here.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I feel like there's still a lot of fakeness out
Yeah.
here. It's probably just a different type, a different style.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, and nowhere, like, I feel like no matter, I feel like you're one of the only people who really loves where you're from and is like proud to be where you're from, which I think is really cool.
San Diego, what the hell? It's the best. Like
It really
West Coast, right? I'm also like right near the ocean, even though I don't like sand too much. Um, LA is right there. That's why I work a lot. The best music ever, I think, came from Bay Area with Mac
Oh
Dre.
yeah.
That's my
Yeah.
favorite rapper ever. So it's all like right here on the West Coast, and it's just man, time moves a little slower out here. People are less like aggressive out here. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like I don't know. Yeah, I'm no gangbanger, but 619 till the day that I die.
Well, I know that when I was in OB in San Diego, I remember I felt like I was in a movie. Like it just felt like a movie set because like there were these like hippie guys like yelling at each other over like somebody was spray painting a wall and they like were yelling at each other. And I was like, can I take your picture? This is so fascinating. Not really, but I was like, this is so cool. And then it was just like a little like magical place. And so in Alabama, I don't know if I've told you this, but we have like the worst seasons here. Like, I mean, it's the worst. So it literally gets to like 108 degrees every year. So it's like 108 degrees. And then occasionally it'll be like randomly hot in the middle of December. And then it's like bitter cold. So we don't have like great seasons. So when I was in San Diego, I remember it was like I felt like the heavens opened up and it was like, because it just feels so nice most of the time, which is lucky. And I kind of hate you for that, but it's fine.
That's why rent's probably so expensive out here. That and the
Probably.
views.
Probably there. I mean, there you go. Um, okay, let me see what I have. Let's see. How do you think with your past drug use and as well as like the traumatic brain injury, the traumatic vein injury, do you feel like how did that affect you like mentally? Do you think like as far as like your like did you feel like did you compare yourself to other people? Like meaning did you feel like you weren't like grasping concepts as fast or how did that affect like your friend group? If you can elaborate.
Like both of them mixed together. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, like or just each one separately or
well, the
whatever.
drug use I kind of got into one just my genes were set up
Right.
for addiction.
Right.
And curiosity killed the cat, and I got to learn the hard way a lot of times.
Right.
I try not to. I try to learn easier ways nowadays. But a lot of that also stemmed from just the fact that I never thought I was cool. I got bullied a bunch, and I wanted to be cool. And like when I went to high school, there was a group of cool kids that I thought were cool, and they were the pothead druggies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, well, yeah, all right. And it was already in the area that I live in and stuff like that. So it was real easy to get into that. The brain injury, I think actually helped some of my friends because, we were all doing the same stuff.
Right.
And, one person, a few people have been locked up and stuff like that. Granted, we were fucking kids, like we were teenagers and stuff. So,
Right.
but then, I almost died because of the lifestyle that we were living. And I think that really affected all of us in the circle or whatever more than maybe they'd like to admit. I don't know. But like me and my best friend, for example, have about the same amount of years off of drugs
Oh
type shit,
wow.
just because, like we kind of got into them together and, we're off of them together too. And still to this day, people who haven't seen us for like 10 years or whatever will come up to us and be like, hey, you want some whoop wop? And she's like, nah, dude, it's been years. And it's crazy too, because people who we've recently met will like talk about our past and they're like, it's like we were two completely different people type shit, like back in the day compared to now.
Interesting. That's so I don't know. I feel like that's such an interesting like story to hear because I feel like I've met a lot of people in my life just because I'm very social or whatever. And I feel like you are one of those people that is just so yourself. Like it's very refreshing to see. And it's like you're not ashamed of anything. And I mean, I'm sure you're ashamed of a few things. I mean, who isn't? But No one's perfect, but I just feel like you're very confident. And like one of my questions, what or on down the list, but I'm going to ask you this now. Like, where do you think you get your confidence from?
I mean, it took a lot. It took a lot, like knowing that that was one of my weaknesses, really. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
I still work on it to this day with little
right,
stuff like, well, not even little, like I work out every freaking morning so
right,
that I can have a body that I feel comfortable in.
right,
And I'm still working on it. You know what I'm saying? So it can be the body that I want it to be. Um, we're all perfect the way we are and stuff like that, but like we all also have the option to make ourselves even more quote unquote perfect. You know what
right.
I'm saying? So um, I don't remember at what age I took that and grasped that. I think that's one of those big things that kind of just happen over time, and you start to really realize, like, oh, okay. I heard this one thing on a YouTube video a couple years ago, and I was like, yeah, that kind of is already how I live, but I could see how
Mhm,
it would help some other people, like people who play video games a lot. I don't play
mhm.
games, but the reason a lot of people play video games is that accomplishment. You do a
Mm,
challenge and you get an accomplishment, and then you get the XP or whatever the fuck the video game gives you. You know what I'm saying? Well, if you can kind of translate that into your own day to day life, wow,
right,
like, and like I feel like I was already doing that, but then when I heard that, it helped put that more into play type shit where it's like, if because I work out every day, it's going to add up and shit, and I will get to that point. And I mean, even every day of progression is another reward in itself. You know what I'm saying? And it's all, you put down that work towards the reward, and then that's the gameplay,
right,
so
right. And that's awesome. That's because really, I mean, I've met you like in IRL a couple of times, and it's just like it just I feel like everybody is just so interested because you have such this personality that's just so like confident and just so like I mean, it's like who is this guy? Like I feel like everybody wants to hang out with you because you're just
it's
so
the it's
cool.
the, it's the mustache.
That's what it is. I didn't. Well, I was gonna make a joke, but now I'm not. Um, let's
You
see.
should
Okay,
make it.
I'm not gonna make it. I was gonna say I must ask you this next question. So that's lame.
Nice. There we go.
Appreciate
I like it.
it.
As a dad joke enthusiast, I like that one.
Well, I am a dad, so you know. Um, okay, so my question would be someone that is dealing with like drug abuse or like trying to get to this point where they're in recovery or just like not feeling like themselves. What would be advice that you would give to somebody like that?
Bro, the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous are fucking awesome. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie. Like the steps are good. I still need to work them. I ain't even worked them yet. I'm not gonna lie. But
Right.
like, I feel like for everybody, drug addict or not, those 12 steps are like really just how to make your life better. Like one of the steps is like list down all the shit that you regret, dude. Like the fuck, can you
Right.
go back and if it's safe, like undo that. You know what I'm saying? Go say
Right.
you're sorry to that person that you left in the dust or whatever, and just
Right.
like work on making yourself a better person and working on making yourself like accountable for the things that you should be accountable for and not stress on the things that you have no power over.
Right. Interesting. Cool. So I always ask my guests this question, but I'm going to ask you because I was originally not going to ask you, but I feel like you'll answer it. If you could be a turtle, no, I'm just kidding. Um,
Soft shelled.
okay, noted.
Soft no 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 no. Snapping.
Well, I love that, obviously, because you just yeah, because you snap off. I got you. Okay. Do you remember the first time in your life where you felt insecure, or a time where you felt insecure?
I don't remember the first time, but there was this one time in like third or fourth grade, and for Halloween, I thought I would be really cool and creative and completely make my costume out of white tube socks, sewn together and everything. A little hat piece. I think I was going for like a weird sewn together rabbit look, like
Okay.
those, like
Yep.
that the
Hmm.
sock monkey type
Yes.
vibe. Yes, okay,
Yes.
except like a sock rabbit, but full like yeah. I got embarrassed. I got made fun of a lot for that,
Oh,
and yeah, so that's one that stuck out. I guess went right when you said it. That's what I thought of. So
that makes me think when I guess I was in middle school, I was in seventh grade, and there was this really, really cute guy. in my English class, and his name was Skye, and I was dressed up as Arwen from Lord of the Rings. And I remember he looked over at his friend and he said, "She looks like the exorcism of Emily Rose." And I was like, great. I'm going to go home and write about this in my diary. And Scott is canceled. It
Damn.
was very bad. Yeah. Middle school sucks. Like, it's rough. Oh my gosh. Okay. So let's see. How have you dealt with rejection in either the industry or like in relationships? Because I know like a lot of people, like what I've realized as in like getting older, like we're rejected a lot and we can't, like, it's one of those things, like change is inevitable, being rejected is inevitable. Like, how do you deal with that?
Fuck them. You know, like that, like what? Who cares? Like, even I'm ready for everyone to say no. Just looking for that one. It's like a thrift shop, the needle in the
Ah,
haystack. You know what I'm saying? That's why I call myself the self-proclaimed king of shots in the dark, because you don't know until you know. So you might as well try. You know what I'm saying? Like, the fuck. They're more likely to say no anyways, but you're looking for that one that's saying yes. Once they say no, it's like, all right, whatever. That's fine. You're gonna regret it, probably.
y'all, Daeg is actually a prophet. I don't want to startle y'all. I'm kidding.
No, my
Oh
homie
my
Prophet
God.
is Prophet. What are you talking about?
That's
I'm
true.
GreatDaeg. He's Prophet.
That's right. That's right. And don't you worry, we're going to talk about music. So hang tight on that. Um,
That's what I
um,
came here to talk about. I want to talk about my music.
I know
My music.
your music. Okay. So what's something that people who aren't in the acting or music industry, what is something that they don't seem to understand? Because I know like with things going on with like the writer's strike and things like that, there's a lot of like misconception about a lot of things, and I find it so interesting.
You could star in one movie and not be rich. Let's
Right.
just say that. Like,
Right.
that's one huge misconception. Oh, aren't you? You know,
Right.
dude, if I had $1 million, I would have.
Right.
But
I mean, by the way, yeah. No, I get that.
and
I
also, at the
remember.
end of the day, I feel like it evens out. You know, like all the work that I put into it, a lot of it is free. Audition, 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 audition. You know, little random projects here and there, working on it, working on it, working on it, and then you get a gig and it pays. And then it's like, okay, well, when's the next pay? Compared to somebody who works the 9 to 5 and gets paid all the time, that
Right.
shit could equal out. Like, it's not
Right.
like just because our check. Why do people want to call me?
I don't
Just
know.
text me. You gotta just, these motherfuckers gotta just text me. What was I saying?
I don't know. I
Hmm.
just thought you had gone for a second and I got nervous, and so I don't remember what you were saying, but it sounded great.
Yep. Yep.
Where's my
That
pen?
it did.
It was so great. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You're buying me a yacht? Oh my gosh. No, I'm kidding.
Speaking of, so since this is called Happy, this is the Happy Sad podcast, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's just do it. Let's play it. Let's play a new game sponsored by GreatDaeg. You down?
Okay.
Okay. So all you got to do is say happy or sad, whatever
Okay.
comes to mind first. All right.
Okay. I'm ready.
Rainbows.
Sad.
That's strange. Small yachts.
Happy.
Okay. Okay. Rap music.
Happy.
Alcohol.
Sad.
Okay. Now, what about just the first word that comes to mind? Fuck happy or sad. Like, it could be happy. The words could be happy or sad, but
Okay.
first word that comes to mind. Alabama.
Trash.
Family tree.
I have no idea.
First or second cousins.
Not related. Not inbred.
Okay. All right. Yep. That was a fun
Oh,
game.
that was lovely. I thoroughly enjoyed that.
Nice.
Um, I think we were talking about before you went away and it got really scary for a second. We were talking about the industry, the acting and music industry, and we are talking about like
Oh yeah,
all of
people
that.
just think that. I think I
Yeah,
pretty much wrapped up on
you
what I
did.
said there. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, people think we make a lot more money than we do, and like I'm sure Zendaya and Brad Pitt and Johnny Depp and them make a lot of money, but all us other actors might not.
So the reason Daeg mentioned rainbows is because I'm gonna tell it. I'm gonna tell it.
Okay.
So Daeg and I are friends, whatever, I guess. Are we friends? I guess. Whatever. And for his birthday, I bought him these Osiris's, which are hella cool, like skate shoes. And
It was a surprise. It was a
it was a surprise. He hates
surprise.
surprises. It's fine. And he said, and and then he tried to like backtrack and he was like, it's okay, my mom did the same thing to me too. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. So I bought him these multicolor Osiris's and I thought they were so freaking cool. And he hated them and they also didn't fit. And I was like I was literally getting this tattoo on my arm. You can't even see it. This tattoo on my arm while he was like messaging me, being like, these don't fit, Skye. I hate them. You didn't say
Okay,
that.
well, I didn't
You
say
didn't
I
say
hate
that.
them. Yeah,
You
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
say that.
I was just confused about the color wave that she had chose.
The color
And
wave.
so, I was just a little confused about it. It wasn't necessarily a rainbow, I guess, but it was purple, orange,
It,
and blue.
I'm sorry. Say that word again.
Purple, orange, and blue.
Say orange again.
Orange.
Okay. You just said it kind of
Um,
strange.
so it was an interesting color
Yeah.
combination.
Yeah.
And yeah, just that style of shoe. I would have needed one size bigger than it was. So when I put them on, I was like, I can't even wear these. Like, so we had
Right.
to return them and whatnot.
So actually, I saw Daeg. I guess was it 2 weeks ago at a
Halloween
Halloween.
45.
Yes. So I'm standing there in line to like wave at Daeg, and it's so weird because he has these little people. He has these people coming up and like wanting to meet him, and I'm just like, there's that guy again. And his mom goes rainbow shoes, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I am a celebrity. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah, I told her to say that. I was like, Mom, look, that's Skye. Just say, "Hey, rainbow!" right when she comes up, and she didn't even wait for you to come up. She just says, "Hey, rainbow!"
And I was like, Daeg has like made this sweet woman into something that she's not. No, anyway, it was really funny. And it was really fun. That was a really fun convention. I always pride myself because I'm pretty girly, I guess, but I love scary movies. And so I think that was my 17th con, which is crazy.
Ow.
Yeah. So pretty and actually I remember seeing you at Scarefest like years
I was
ago,
just
but
about to say you're not going to tell them about how you've
I'm
seen
gonna
me at
tell
another
this.
convention, but
I'm
was
gonna
too nervous to say something to me, and I didn't
no,
even have the mustache at that point.
I know. It's just the mustache. You're just more approachable with
Oh, that's what it is.
it.
Okay.
No, it's my friend Katie and I who actually ended up going to Halloween 45 together. And yes, Katie has bangs. I know you're going to bring that up too. But we went to Scarefest in Kentucky, and I remember she was like, "There's that guy," and I didn't even know Daeg was Daeg because I mean he's either Daeg or that guy. You can I mean either way he's gonna answer. But I was like, she was like, you should go talk to him, and I was like, I'm not gonna go talk to him. And she was like, you go talk to him. And I was like, nope, you can. And she was like, nope. And so we didn't. And so now here we are. So
And you
that
got
was
to see a show that I did on the
I
street.
did. I did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that was really exciting. So again, like Daeg just goes for it. Like he's not like, oh, like he does not hold back, which is really cool. So like, kind of like, I didn't even know what to expect. And he was like, Skye, I'm going to perform in the parking lot. He was like, where are you? I was like, I'm on my way. And then it just happened. And it was like, this is pretty dope. And I have to say, like, how did you get into all of that? Like, how did you get into like rap and what inspired you?
Well, I've always enjoyed music. I started playing piano when I started acting in like little church plays and stuff. And when I was a young teenager, I got into guitar and bass, and then shortly after drums for a while. And like I said, I'd always enjoyed music. My mom raised me on Blondie, Billy Idol, and reggae, but where I'm from, there was rap everywhere. I enjoyed rap. Mac Dre was my first, like, yo, this guy's fire, and ND40 and Busta and Tech, and and then after my brain injury, well,
Yeah.
pre-brain injury in high school, I wrote very depressing emo kid poems, stuff like that. But the rhymes and the flow was there.
Right.
And then after the brain injury, I just wanted to rap, and I was really bad at first. I remember being in my homies' cars and just freestyling, and they're like, "Your flow's sick. You just got to rhyme, dude. Like, come on, man." And yeah, I just didn't stop. So I feel like one that has helped me recover from my brain injury, because it's, I use my brain a lot for this stuff, whether it's the math or the science or the art or the technology of it all, because I produce, record, engineer, and then for film, for any of my music videos, I direct and edit them, and for someone else, I'll film other people's videos and stuff like that too. So it's all, forgot where that was going. Damn, it's all very therapeutic.
That's really awesome. Because, I mean, it just all sounds really good. And like, you can tell, like, a lot of music to me nowadays, like, it's just people, you can't really feel emotions and stuff. And I feel like with your stuff, like, you can feel the excitement. Like, it's almost, this is going to sound weird, but every time you record something, it's like it's your first time performing, and you can feel like the excitement with it. And so it's like always just like every time I listen to it, it's like, this is just such a treat. And there I am, like, this little cute little valley girl, white girl driving around in Alabama to some GreatDaeg,
Hell yeah.
So yeah, no, it's really great. And oh shoot. Okay, next question. What is your proudest moment?
Oh man.
I'm trying to plug my phone in and I can't.
Proudest moment.
It's right now. You don't have to be shy. I'm kidding.
Man. All right, hold on. Being able to like tell my mom that I don't do drugs.
That's so great. That's so sweet. Oh my gosh. That's so great. That's wonderful.
Damn. Anytime I talk about my mom, she's a bigger crybaby than me. But like, I swear to God, I did an interview at the Halloween 45 thing, and I was just like, it's shout out to all the fans and everything. Y'all make it possible. And then I was like, and my mom.
No, your mom seems like a really cool person, and I love, like, I'm really close to my mom, but I love that y'all have like this very much of like a dynamic that is just really, it's so sweet. Like, it's just, I don't know. And you can tell, like, when I was walking past your booth, which is so weird because it's like I know you, and then it's like there he is again. But your mom, the way your mom looked at you was one of the sweetest things I've ever seen. Like, she literally looked at you like like that's my kid. And I was like,
Hell
that is
yeah.
the sweetest thing ever. And I was like, Katie, look at his mom. Look at his so sweet. So yeah, no, I love that you have that support system. And like, I mean, your mom's definitely proud of you, which is awesome. And I'm proud of you. I'm kidding. Okay, so how would you describe your style, like your clothing style? Because I know, like, for a time you like were kind of emo goth, and then I know, like, in middle school you had like the bangs, the side swoop bangs that
That
were,
was high school.
yeah,
But
those are pretty tight.
yeah, my style changes, here and there. For the past year, about it's been growing into what it is now, I'd say. Which is how the cool high schoolers looked when I was in middle school
There you
or
go.
elementary school.
There you go.
I dress how the cool high schoolers dressed in the 90s and 2000s, early 2000s. But yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know how I started coming to that, because I definitely used to be one of those guys that wore skinny jeans. My style was kind of like, it was good for a while, like, you know, early recovery or whatever. It was, I've always been stylish-ish,
Right.
but and enjoyed
Oh,
it.
okay.
Clothes are art, so you put together these pieces for a full piece of art, like interchangeable puzzle pieces. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? These puzzle pieces that work for different puzzles if you
Right.
work them right. But yeah, it started changing pretty much right when because I had talked about wanting to bring back the vibe of late 90s and early 2000s music with my rap stuff, especially. Because personally, now this is all obviously opinion. When it comes to art, anybody listening, art is so opinionated.
Right.
Nothing is correct. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying, if it doesn't line up with yours, I'm not saying I'm right and I'm not saying you're wrong. Whatever. It's just what I enjoy. But I think music was more fun when I was going to middle school dances and stuff. You know, like
Right.
it was party music. It was fun. It was dance music. You know, and a lot of that isn't made anymore, I don't think.
Right.
So I've been talking about that for a couple of years, and you know, I do music so often that it's only always getting better. So I finally
Right.
hit a point late last year or early this year where I was just like, this is how I'm making my rap now. Like these are
Right.
the beats that I'm going to inspire my beats off of. This is how I'm going to flow on my shit. So, you know, like it's just going to be more fun and party vibe, you know, like
Right.
dance vibe, good heart. I can still spit some deep shit, but it doesn't need to be so like, I don't know. I feel like a
Right.
lot of today's music is more depressing.
Oh,
And depressing music is always fine, you know, it's the vibe, but it's just like I feel like it's taken over a lot.
right. No, I agree. And it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, it's fine to be sad if you listen to music, but now there's just so much of it. And I feel like that it kind of describes our society as a whole because we like live in this sadness and like feel like we all have depression, we all have anxiety. It's just kind of like the way
Mm-hmm.
of life. It's not like a new thing. But I think that the common thing is that we need to kind of live in that space. And I feel like what's so cool about your music especially is because it's just fun. Like you can't like even if you're not into rap, even if you're not into like your kind of music specifically, you're gonna have a good time. And if you're not smiling, then get out, you know?
You know, exactly.
And
Yeah.
so I think that's really, I feel like depression is one of those things where people a lot of times don't want to get better in a sense. Like they just want to kind of stay in that chaos. And it's like
Mm-hmm.
life is just so like so much more than that. So just going out and like just having a good time and just like not holding back. Like that's
Just
really
do
cool.
it. Just
Yes.
do it. That's the
Yes.
thing. Like that's one of my messages, like with everything that I do and stuff, especially after like the brain injury and
Hmm.
recovering from like active addiction and stuff like that. Like if I can do it, like most of y'all can do it. Anybody can do it. You know,
Right.
the only thing that's holding us back most of the time is ourselves.
Right.
So get out of your way and do it because you don't know unless you know.
Exactly.
So you might as well fuck around and find out a couple times so then you know.
I saw that on a t-shirt and I was like, I would love to get this for Daeg, but he would probably hate it because he just hates things. I mean,
Oh my God,
not really.
no.
He doesn't. He's not a
Skye
hater.
has gotten me sick ass South Pole pants
Yeah.
with sick ass little homie on it. Gotten me fucking
Be careful what you say. I don't want my mom to know.
sick ass Osiris's with the cayenne blue. That's the cyan blue. That's the Superman blue on them. They're basically fuck red bottoms. They're blue bottoms. And if y'all don't know about Osiris D3 2001s, they're the big boxy shoes that the cool high schoolers were wearing in high school in early 2000s. And then most recently, as a replacement for the small rainbow shoes, we got the Golden Globe Trotters. And
Yeah.
I haven't had a pair of fucking Globe industry shoes ever, I don't think. So now
Well,
I do,
looky
and they're
there.
gold, and that's awesome. I love gold. Obviously, I got a gold septum ring. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
mean, well, I when I wrote, how do you describe your style in parentheses, I wrote, you'll mention visors and I'll get angry, I'm sure.
yeah, if y'all want to piss Skye off, any listeners, when y'all pull up for the meet and greet for her, make sure y'all are wearing rainbow shoes, a vest, and a visor. You got to
No.
make sure the vest and the visor are there because that irks her jerk, and then the rainbow shoes will know that it's sent from me.
I know I'm gonna open a package one day. I'm just gonna be hit in the face with glitter, and then it's just gonna be like some kind of like obscene rainbow something. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm prepared for it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so what is your favorite collab that you've done rap wise, and how has rap helped you? I guess those are two separate questions, but
Okay, my favorite collab.
yes.
I have better verses than that I do on this song, but it is definitely my favorite collab. Tech Nine put me on his song "Bitch Slap," which was originally supposed to have Tech Nine, obviously,
Mhm.
me and Ghostman on it. Shit got switched around, I guess, and I stayed on the song. But rather than Ghostman, Hobson, Corey Taylor, and Tom Morello ended up on that song. So that's just insane to me. I'm not the biggest metalhead, but I know who the fuck Corey Taylor is. And you bet your ass as a 90s kid, I know who the fuck Tom Morello is. And then when I was 18 years old, even, I went to a Hobson concert. This is crazy. This is kind of like early Daeg rapping stage. Went to a Hobson concert with my best friend Cedric, and
Who's
he was
still his
like,
best friend?
yeah, so like 21 years after like we met type shit, we're brothers basically. But Hobson concert at the House of Blues downtown San Diego, and he's like, all right, everybody's a rapper nowadays, like raise your hand if you rap, you know what I'm saying? And I raised my hand because I was like, yeah, I fucking rap, I got a couple bars that I could spit, you know. He pulls me up with like 6 other people up on stage and lets us all spit a hot 16. Now, I was not the best. There was definitely a few people out there that had flow, like how I have now. Like I if that was me now, I might have been one of the better ones. You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't the worst because, sorry to bring this up, Hobson, but this was crazy. Um, One dude, he took the mic from, and he said, "Never hold one of these again." Now, dude, if dude who he took the mic from is
It wasn't
listening,
you, was it?
no. That's why I said I wasn't the worst, because he didn't take the mic from me. I actually spit a hot 8, and then they wanted me to spit a hot 16, and they were like, keep going. I was like, oh fuck, all right. Then that was probably like the worst part of my verse or whatever. But the first 8 was sick. But yeah, he took a mic from that dude. But if that guy is listening, I hope you didn't stop rapping, because like, you can just get better. You can just get better. Whatever you want to do, just do it all the time. I mean, be responsible with your time, but do it all the time. And the laws of the world, basically, right next to like, if you're born, you're probably gonna die, like means that
Plot
like if
twist.
you like, well, I'm just saying, like, there's a couple laws of
Right.
life that are for sure, and only a couple. One is, if you're born, you're probably gonna die. Two, if you do something all the fucking time, you're only gonna get better at it.
Yeah.
So do it for years. You feel me? I mean, you can live a long fucking life, and then at the end of the day, if you even make it to 80, how long was 5 years of your life?
Right.
Not
Exactly.
long.
Exactly. And I also feel like too, there's this like misconstruction. I always say words wrong when I get like tingly, um but there's like this misconception of the fact that like as you get older, like, people in their 30s or late 20s, that they're like old and their like life is over or their life is like dwindling. And that's just not it. Like I feel like, especially if you're listening here from the South, like
It's
like
all
like
choices.
it's all choices.
It's
Yes.
life
Yeah.
choices, dude.
Hmm.
Like, if you want to stay young, I mean, I recommend not having a kid too early. Like, but like, you know what I'm saying? There's other ways to do it too. Like,
Right.
like, you don't have to go right to, and it's not even, I don't know. I feel like there's a difference between staying young and like maturity.
Oh
Like, you
yeah.
could stay young forever and be mature enough to pay your bills and go to
Hmm.
work and shit like that, but stay young at heart. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, through like active exercise and fucking like, keeping your humor and your brain and everything up and running. It's like, you can be fine. You could be happy. Like, just, it's
There you
really
go.
just choices. Like, like at the end of the day, it's just choices.
No, I love that.
It's 10 to 4. I think you have a 4 o'clock appointment.
Do I?
Okay. Okay, well, we're wrapping up, but I've got like just a few more questions, but I always ask my guests this. What's your favorite thing about yourself physically and just like in general?
In general, my drive. Um, about my look, like just super shallow. I don't
Just go
fucking
super
know.
shallow. Yeah.
My lips and
Okay.
my
There you go.
eyes, I guess.
There you go. There you go. Ask everybody that question. It's weird, but I do.
Wait, I had one more.
Okay.
One more. Let's try I wanted try a new segment sponsored by GreatDaeg's music.
Okay.
Okay, cool. I'm taking inspiration from how am I forgetting his name? No fucking way. Sunday Conversation with Charlie. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I hope he's not listening. Well, I hope he is, but what the fuck? How did I forget his last name? Caleb Presley. So yeah, a new segment sponsored by some GreatDaeg
Okay.
music. Okay. So I'm gonna make some noises and you're just gonna tell me
Oh
what they make you feel.
Okay.
All right?
I'm terrified. Okay.
There's only 3.
Okay.
Okay. You ready?
Okay.
I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world.
That makes me feel excitement, but also scary because you're singing.
Okay. Now what about
1,000 angels dying, like falling from heaven and just like dying on the sidewalk.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then here's just a random one that I wanted to just throw in just for shits and giggles.
Middle school.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hella.
Thank you for that. I appreciate
Mhm.
that. Okay, so we've got 2 more questions for you. I hope you're ready
Okay.
for this. How do you want to be remembered?
As a great guy, I don't know. Like as somebody I don't know. Like
As
somebody that
GreatDaeg?
yeah, like like as GreatDaeg and maybe like like I like a like as a pun almost like that I brought a better day for people or something like that like that I helped them with something.
I think that's great. I really do. That sounded like very insincere, but I really do. I was like, it's great. So I have to tell you this. That just made me think of it. There was a guy I had a crush on when I was in high school, and my friend and I, we were driving in the car with him, and the guy said, "Don't you just love this song?" And my friend goes, "You looked right at him dead in the eyes and said, 'It's great. I love it.'" So we always joke that I have like, yeah, but no, that is really cool. What's next, and where can we find you?
Oh
Not
man,
like in a
also
scary way. That sounds so scary. Like, where
all
can we
sorts of
find you?
on the streets of San Diego. Catch me in the alley, son. Nah, find me on Instagram, GreatDaeg. You can stream my music everywhere. It's one word, great, GreatDaeg. There's no space in between those words. What's next? I've got a few little projects film wise on the horizon, and then as always a new project on the horizon when it comes to music. I got a 13 song tape coming towards the end of October, a 6 song tape somewhere in November, and I'm also sitting on a few other things too, and some of those will have music videos. I just got to do them. But yep.
Fabulous. Well, I really appreciate you being on this with me. This is spectacular. Do you have any final questions for me?
No, we went through all of mine, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, thank you so much for being on here. And once again, I'm Skye and this is Daeg. And thank you for listening to the Happy Sad podcast. And I hope that everyone has a magical day.
Woo
Bye.
woo, gang, motherfuckers.
Yes.